Hello friends, my name is Angelika and welcome to my channel Rainbow Over Pansies. This is actually my first Flosstube video on this channel. And I decided the best way to kind of introduce myself as a cross teacher is to show you my projects that I've been currently working on. I haven't been cross teaching for a long time. I would say it's been 2.5 years, but cross stitch came to my life spontaneously. Before the cross stitch, I was doing different kind of projects, like I was crocheting toys, I was crocheting dollies and rugs and making different kind of things with my hands. But one day I decided to try something completely new that I've never done before. For me to take a needle and start stitching something, it was so scary. So I went to, I believe it was a Hobby Lobby, and I decided to pick a smallest, in my opinion, cross stitch kit. So, and that was this one. This cute gnome. It's like right now, remember, it was getting close to this fall season, and I thought that that will be a perfect craft for me to do. So I picked this thing, and as you see, I was even trying to make it French knots. They're not looking good, but I decided to leave it as a memory for me. And after I completed, let's see how I did the back. I decided that, you know what? That's not that scary. How about I'm gonna try something else? And I started working on the bigger projects, buying the bigger kits. And right now you will see exactly what cross stitch kits I'm working on recently, and you will be surprised. So on the first project that I really want to show you after the small gnome, right? That will be Dimensions Gold Collection. That was my first ever kit from Dimension Gold Collection that I purchased. And I decided to try this one. This is a truly masterpiece. It's called Woodland Enchantress. From the first time I saw it, I knew it was something absolutely extraordinary. Just this image of powerful yet graceful enchantress standing in the snowy woods with her flowing green gown and golden staff feels like something out of the fairy tale. It's full of magic, mystery, and beauty. So this design comes with a 16 count item, and when you finish this piece, it will be 35.5 over 30.4 centimeters or 14 by 12 inches. So there is a mix of colors, floss, and metallic threads that add kind of a sparkle to gown and the stuff. I've been working on this design for 37 days so far, and it has quickly become my absolutely favorite project. The colors are just so rich, they are dramatic. These deep forest greens, snowy whites, and glowing golds, and delicate shades of her hair. Well, hair is a different story. That was really hard for me to do, but especially the back stitch. But I did it, and I'm proud of myself. So every section feels like a painting with the threads and details are breathtaking. So I'm gonna show you exactly what 37 days of work. Here we go. This is my beautiful enchantress. Look at that. Wow. So yes, I still have some work to do. But one thing I can tell you, I truly believe that the hardest part is done. And for me, like I said, it was her hair. It was just a lot of backstitching. Also, what I changed, yes, I learned how to do French knots now, but in her hair, I decided to put a little bit of beads right over there, this one. So it will match with a yellowish thread. And for me personally, I really like to work. It doesn't matter if it's cross stitching project or if I'm doing a crocheting. I like to work on the face. And here, if you look at it, her face here, right over there, this one. It felt like it was frozen or natural, but not alive. The colors were just too bland, I would say. So what I did with my face for Enchantress, I pop up her eye color. I make sure it will be bluish, and her lips and her nose. And now I feel like she's more alive to me than she was before that the design asked us to make her face. So what else I really enjoy working at? You know that most of this part is just a half cross stitching, and I know so many people complain about that they have to do 4, 5, sometimes even 6 threads. Like that doesn't really bother me, and it didn't scare me at all. But like I said, the hair, yes, that was, I was almost giving up, but then I decided no, I have to keep going, I have to continue because it's very important. And oh my God, her dress, this is just something out of fairy tale. Yes, you have to use acrylic, right? And I did. Look at that. And the colors. And then you go all the way back. And the combination of the red and the green, I feel like it's just blends nicely. And the golden leaves. Wow. Yes, that took me a while because I was trying to make it perfect. And hopefully I got the result. But yes, 37 days and still counting. My plan for this Enchantress that I really want to finish her. I don't want to just leave it for the next year. I started this project, I believe it was September 2024. And I decided, you know what? Let me see how that's gonna go because it's my first gold collection. I don't know how long does it take. I hear some people do it in 1 month, some people do it in 2 months, some people stretch it out and do it in a couple of years. And I decided to see my own experience. So this year I did only a couple days, I believe so. And I want to take it right now in September and really work on that part, So if you see, this is what I will be working. And I don't think it's going to be very hard for me because most of this part will be a cross stitching, right? And this is going to be a full stitch. So I just have to finish the dress, the bluish color, snow, a little bit of dirt, and it will be ready. So I'm kind of really excited. What I'd say I love most is the presence she has. Even unfinished, this Enchantress already looks so commanding and elegant. So every time I sit down to stitch, I feel like I'm building some kind of story. You know, a guardian of the forest, waving her magic staff that shines with the light. She guides the yes, if you would say that this is the love of my life. This is something that I'm very proud that I wasn't a chicken. I decided to try something new, and so far it's working, in my humble opinion. But you know, I didn't really try to iron or anything like that, so I just take it from my hoops because that's what I use for this cross-stitching project. And I decided that yes, I'm gonna do all the nice preparation when she's gonna be complete. So yes, Woodland Enchantress is more just another project. It's the design that inspires me the most and that makes me want to sit and stitch for hours and hours. I know that when it's going to be finished, it will be like a centerpiece, a work of art that will always remind me why I love this craft so deeply from the first time I saw it. And I'm planning to put it in a nice frame, right? And I have a big giant wall that it will look just nicely in my house. So this is it. So let's move on to the next one. So my next project is called Autumn Story by Magic Needle Company, and it has 14 count Ida inside, gamma threads, instruction needles. There's 34 colors, and the skill level it's 3, so it's not really hard. But I feel like I don't wanna stitch on the Ida. I wanna change it on uneven fabric, and this one I picked. It's 28 count winter moon casual lining fabric from 123stitch.com. Just look at this. It feels like stitching a golden season right into the fabric. The design is filled with everything I love about fall. And fall is my favorite season, by the way. It has a bright leaves, fairy red and oranges, cheerful sunflowers, birdhouse, and even a little bird enjoying the last warm days. So in the background, there is a cozy church tower that adds a timeless touch to this scene. So far, I would say I've been stitching this kit for about 9 days, and I'll tell you the story, what really happened. So I had this huge plans for summer that I will be making this project and the other and finishing and starting new, and then life happens. So during June, July, and August months, I wasn't able to stitch at all. So when that craziness of life was over, I decided to treat myself, and I was debating I thought that maybe I'm gonna try this project or that one. And while I was deciding, my daughter came to my room and said, "Mom, I know that this design is so beautiful. Yes, it does have sunflowers and pansies and different other flowers, but if you really want to capture a fall season, you should stick with that one." So she's the one who chose a project for me to stitch. So I put this, I'm still in love with these sunflowers, but I feel like I'm gonna do it maybe next summer season. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I did here. Look at that. Wow. Yes, most of the work is done. As you see, I finished the leaves, sunflower, birds. I did a church. And I have been working on a largage. I absolutely adore this color. The greenish turquoise color. It's one of my favorites. So just combination of all the colors together, it's, in my opinion, works perfectly. So this WIP isn't just about creating a seasonal picture, it's about capturing the feeling of autumn itself. Because I like how cozy it looks, colorful and full of life. So every stitch feels like a leaf falling into the place, and I can only imagine how beautiful this piece will look when I finally finish, and hanging is reminding of warmth and richness of fall. Yes, I do decorate my house during the fall season. I put different pieces like a pumpkins and lantern, and the colors I usually choose is those colors. So I feel like when it will be finished and I will put it in a frame, I can also put, maybe it's in my dining room or living room, maybe even in my bedroom. I truly believe it will look perfectly everywhere I will decide to put it on. So magic needle, that's another kits that I like, and before I didn't really know where they are located till I recently looked at it and I read made in Latvia. Good to know, right? So yes, but it's a beautiful one. So what I also forgot to mention that I want to show you the threads. If you never seen that, you never work on a kid's magic needle, this is the threads. So they organize, I just pull the thread and work the color I need and the other one. But what surprises me that the project is almost over, right? Probably 75% is done already. And look how many I still have left. Like this color. Look at this blue. I'm only gonna need it here, which is already stitched, another berry here, and somewhere right over there, but I will still gonna have left many threads. I never throw it away, obviously, but I'm gonna use it for something else in the future. But it's good to have, because I had the projects when sometimes you don't have enough and then you have to figure out, okay, I have to go buy to the store, or I have something on my hands, and sometimes you just don't have it. So the absolutely next design I decided I must try it. It's Mirabilia. This one specifically is called Roses over Provence, and this is my favorite Mirabilia and the first one so far. It feels so special to be working on it. This piece is designed by Nora Corbett, and from the moment I opened the chart, I knew it would be something magical. Mirabilia designs are known for their elegance, flowing gowns, and romantic details, and this one captured all of that perfectly. So for this project, I decided to use everything exactly as recommended, and in the chart, the call for lining and all the specific threads I purchased, it used a combination of 32 count lining and a full palette of 30 DMC floss colors, along with the special threads and the beads. And charms. So it will add sparkle and richness when I finish with all the embellishment stage. But right now I'm not quite there yet. Also, just to tell you the pre-story of this memorabilia. Would you agree there are so many of them that you just want to sit and stitch for hours? But I knew that I have to choose one, so I was scrolling down and I'm picking between mermaids and maybe the small little girls, like a small fairies. And my creative daughter came behind my back and she said, "Mom, you should definitely try this one. This one is so elegant and I really like the colors. And I feel like when you finish it, it will be a beautiful work." So again, I trusted my daughter's instinct and picked this one. So let me show you, where am I right now? Here she is. Isn't it she's something? So I'm gonna show you a little bit closer and explain to you how many days I work on it so far. It's been 13 days and I can already see her coming to life. Her graceful figure, look how she's enjoying smelling the roses, and she holds it, and folds of her gown in rich purples and pinks are just breathtaking. So instead of just working on something one, I decided to try everything. So I tried to stitch roses and a tree and a little bit of her dress on front, because it has a different colors, as you see, right? It has a bluish, a purplish, and then I went all the way to her back dress and I tried this maroon color and bright pink, and wow, I'm really enjoying. I'm speechless how Nora created this so elegantly, and she only used 30 flows of colors. That's phenomenal. So what was the hard part for me? I'll show you a little bit closer. Do you see her face? Right, look at that again. My obsession with face is always gonna be there, so I felt like it was something not quite right, so I worked a little bit more. And her skin, yes, I started doing the skin as a regular cross stitch, but pretty much on right over here, right over there on this part, I realized it's not gonna work for me, so I have to use a petite. And I used it most of her face part, her neck. I left a little bit here, you see right over here, but her arms again, did it take me forever? You will be absolutely right. I could have just stitching her dress, but for some reason, and this is me, I know a lot of cross stitchers on YouTube, they don't really give a big thought about it, if it's petite or a cross stitch. They just do what the chart tells you to do. But me personally, again, my obsession with the skin, with the face, I have to do it that way. So what makes this project even more meaningful for me, that I know eventually it will carry the memory that my daughter is the one who picked this for me. And it's not just about completing memorabilia, it's about stepping into this new world of design, learning patience and appreciation for details, making something that connects me to my daughter is the most beautiful way. So I'm going to show you as well threads. This is how I organize them on Organizer Parker. Right. I actually like this organizer a lot. It resonates with the color of this memorabilia, bright pink. And another way how I store my threads is like that. So if I need any kind of color, just pull it, I put it on my organizer, and I continue stitching. But again, I'm just impressed. It's beyond. It's something that I definitely will continue. I already look at the other mirabilis from North Orbit that I really want to pursue, but I'm not gonna touch it yet till I finish this beautiful lady. And eventually I will. I'm not sure if it will be this year. I will continue working on her dress for sure, but it's probably will be next year, 2026. That's what a goal I'm putting for myself. This design also, if I mention or not, but I will mention again, it uses beads and treasures. What is happening with the treasures, I don't know, but quickly I realized that for not every mirabilia you can find treasures, and that's what happened to me. So I found most of the treasures, but I'm gonna show you closer. If you see her hair, see, right over there, there's a missing spot. Right over here, you see? This is where the treasure is supposed to be, that I don't have it. I look at everywhere. I check 1, 2, 3 stitch, I've checked eBay, and I cannot find it. So when time comes and it will be almost finished and I have to put this last treasure in her hair, if I'm still, if this treasure nowhere to be found, so I have to come up with a solution and put it something else. As far as I remember, it has to be a bright, rich pink color. But again, unfortunately I wasn't able to purchase that yet. But overall, yes, am I excited about my mirabilia? Absolutely. And I hope that you will be excited as well when you see my finished project in the future. So my next project is Exquisite Lily Sampler by Cooler Classic Charts, and it's designed again by my favorite Sandy Orton. How she captured that, it's understatement. It's just timeless piece filled with lilies, ornate pattern, and a beautiful banner that makes it feel like a work of art straight out of the medieval manuscript. Cooler designs always have that mix of traditional and refinement, and this one is not just exception. The original kit called for Ida, but again I decided to make it changes, and you will see what kind of progress I made. Here it is. Look how soft colors are, how beautiful. So again, the changes here is 28 count mushroom Lugana instead of Ida. I love how this fabric gives the design a soft, more antique look, almost like age parchment. So far, I've been working on this piece for about 9 days, and it's already, you can see lilies and part of the ornate border have come to life. It hasn't been a hard design to stitch, which is probably because I'm at the beginning of the stage, but this size eventually will be about 18 by 36 centimeters, and it's perfect for framing as a statement piece. It uses 32 colors of floss, which create this lovely shading in the flowers and detail in borders. So I'm going to show you how I organize my thread. This is probably the most beautiful organization I did. Look at this box. Wow, right? So you open it. And ta-da! All my threads there. Yes. Maybe not the most practical, but definitely most beautiful organization. So yes, I heard that from some stitcher that already stitched this piece, it's not an easy one, and what most of it, I'm afraid, is this part. So when, like this one is easy, right? So you just stitch, you pick the color, you go, you change, you do the leaves, the borders are very easy. But oh my god, when I look at the pattern, what I'm supposed to make here, this is just supposed to be petite, and this stitch I've never done in my life. This is gonna be something new. I'm gonna have to learn how to do it. And another thing that kind of intimidates me, it's this strength. You see that one? That's one I have to learn as well, how to make it. But I'm very excited. I know there is a 3 panels by that. You can buy the pattern on a 123stitch.com. You could buy this kit on eBay, but when I look at it, it was so expensive, and I think it was like 30 people were bidding on it. So I knew that no, there is no way I'm gonna get this kit. I have to, if I like it so much and I wanted to stitch, I have to come up with a different plan, and I have to buy the pattern, collect the threads, and just learn. I know that in a kit they kind of explain you more in detail how to do that part and the other one. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to find something online on the internet and browse to see if there is something there for me to be more helpful, because this pattern, yeah, it just doesn't give you a full detail how to do it. It's like expects you to know this already, which is I don't. Well, what else I can say about this piece? Every day I work on it, I enjoy how the lilies unfold stitch by stitch. I mean, the white petals with a hint of yellow, and I was surprised that also it goes with the purple. They look just absolutely delicate and graceful. And the orange, blue, green borders. Wow. This project feels not only like stitching flowers, but like stitching a piece of history filled with the meaning and the symbols. So it's not just about finishing another sampler for me, I'll tell you that. It's about honoring the elegance of lily, which is symbolized purity, as you know, and renewal, and create something that will be treasured for years to come. Before, I really wanted to buy 3 sampler. One is a lily sampler, the other one, I believe it's a tropical sampler, and one more iris with the pansies. But I stopped myself and I said, no, let's start with one, see how that goes again. And if you complete one, then I allowed myself to buy another one. So wish me luck, and hopefully next time you see this beautiful design, it will be finished. So another piece from Dimension I have for you today, it's Hydrogenian Shells. It's not a gold collection, it's just a regular dimensions, which is it doesn't expect you to do this crazy 4-5 floss of cross stitches. but it's still something that looks elegant, beautiful, and reminds me about sea, ocean, beach. I mean, just summer, right? So from the first time I saw it, I was drawn to this calm coastal feeling of this design. Look at the soft blues of hydrangeas, the delicate roses, the seashells, the starfish resting near the vase. It feels like a window to the seaside filled with both freshness and nostalgia. No, but this is such a big, not the disappointment, I wouldn't say that, because I'm still loving design, but it's more on my part, because again, I didn't want to stitch on the Ida. I decided that I will change it on Ivan, and I don't think I picked the right one, or I don't know what I did, but I picked casual 28 count instead of lining, and that's give me a big problem, and I'll tell you what exactly I mean. So let me show you first where I am right now. Look, so as you see, most of the work, and I would say the hardest work, it's when you work with so many colors of blues and purple, but also countless number of French knots. Remember my first French knots? So now you could tell that I know how to make them. Everything that I stitch was supposed to be stitched on the right side. I did. So I only have left is to finish a box, shelf, and another one, and window. Yes, I see the window is done almost. Maybe just this part. But that's not a problem. I'm not even complaining that this fabric shrinked. What happened to me is when I tried yesterday to iron on a very low heat. Look what happened. This is so sad, because obviously it's not fixable, right? And I don't know what to do with this project now anymore, because either I need to swallow my pride that it's not gonna be perfect and finish the rest of it and try to frame it so this part that got destroyed is not gonna be seen, or I need to go ahead buy another kit, because the threads that I have left, I'll show you. Yeah, so as you see, yes, it's there, but it's not gonna be enough to do the second one. So like I said, if I'm not happy with what happened on the bottom, I have to buy another one and restitch it. But imagine how many hours I spent on the flowers, just doing this hydrogenia and French knots and starting all over again, and probably choosing maybe lining or Murano or the other fabric. So if you have any suggestions, I would highly appreciate it. What would you do in this situation if you really, really wanted this design for yourself, right? Because I even imagine where I'm gonna put it. I have a beautiful place for it to display it, but now I guess I have to put it away for the next season. When spring comes, then when I'm truly gonna make a decision what I want to do with that, either continue with this project or restart it fresh, because you will see that I have one already that I was the same way. I wasn't happy with fabric, and I decided to restart it, but it wasn't like almost 75% already stitched. So we'll see what's gonna happen. But again, I really enjoy. I feel like, you know, I still love this design no matter what. The flowers came out beautifully. The colors just blend together in such a gentle way. The shell, starfish, they are perfect touch for this design. And when I look at it, I almost feel like, you know, salty breeze, and I hear sound of waves in the background. I live not far away from the ocean, and I love ocean, so every time I have a chance, I like to walk and feel the scent and just, you know, feel this breeze. So this design is staying with me as a reminder that I'm so lucky that I don't have to drive hours and hours or fly somewhere. I can just hop in my car. It takes me 10 minutes and I'm at the ocean. So we'll see what's gonna happen. Again, wish me luck. Hopefully I'll figure out, and next time I'll show you a complete result. So my next design that I picked for myself to stitch is Victorian Snowman by Cooler Classic Charts, and again design by Sandy Orton. Well, I could tell you that I've been dreaming about this design forever. Unfortunately, I look at so many videos on YouTube and I've never seen anybody to stitch this design before. I never seen the kit. So I knew that I have to buy the pattern again and collect threads, cranic, and everything what I need for that. Like figure out on what I'm gonna stitch. And what do you think happened? So obviously, I was very smart, very experienced. I decided for this design, and I'll tell you that in the pattern it says that you're supposed to stitch on a 14 count Ida using DMS floss, and I didn't want to stitch on an Ida, so I decided, you know what, let me try something else. And I picked, because it's really antique design, I thought that white Belfast would be absolutely hit. Boy, was I wrong, right? And I'm not saying the fabric is bad, but this is what I did. This is what I work on it. I started from the left corner and I decided to do these borders. And again, the fabric is nice, but do you know how long it took me to stitch this design? Not hours, not days, but it took me about more than a week. And what was most frustrating part about it, you know that you're supposed to use a cranic, right? So obviously I used one for bears. This one, isn't it beautiful color? Start thinking about winter and Christmas right away. But also you have to put cranic right over here in kind of the snow border. Look, I almost use half of it. But when I start looking closely, do you see a spark? I don't see it. And I was like, I put so much, and you know, it's not cheap. So even I felt pity for myself that, you know, I've been working for a whole week and I'm not happy with the results. But if I will keep continue working on a fabric that I'm not really enjoying working, you know, it's so hard for me. It was just so hard to stitch for some reason. I mean, like I said, fabric looks nice to me, but it wasn't a pleasure to work with. So I said, no, I have to restart, which is I did. And for that project, I decided to stick with Ida. And this is what I made so far. Look at this. Isn't it so beautiful? So I decided that I want to do this Ida, and it has a sparkle already. So, I mean, I feel like it's really, really nice. I don't know if the camera shows you. Like, probably not as much as I can see, but yeah, it's gorgeous. This is what I wanted. So far I brought to life this sweet little girl. Instead of starting from the top, I decided to start with her to get myself a little bit exciting about this project again. So the sweet little girl in her red Victorian coat with her cheerful snowman friends, even though it's just a beginning, but the design is already glowing with personality. So the snowman's friendly face makes me smile every time I look at it. And the bright red of her girl's coat pops right away. So it's beautifully against the snow background. What I love the most about this project is the nostalgia it carries, the Victorian costumes, the snowman, and this Merry Christmas message that I'm excited to work when I'm gonna get to the bottom. I feel like this is gonna be something very interesting. So this kind of piece, it instantly brings me the warmth of Christmas past into the present. And it's not just another cross-stitch project, it's about creating a piece of art that will capture the magic of Christmas, in my opinion. It's this coziness, the joy kids have right before the holidays, timeless traditions, and I'm proud of myself that I decided to change it, and instead of torturing myself, now I really enjoy it. I started in January this year, 2025. Like I said, I did it for a couple of days, for a week. So that, yes, it took me a week to do this, imagine. And it took me a week to make that. So like you see that right over here, you see the progress, right over there, not so much. I feel like I will definitely take this work in November, in December. And I'm not promising myself anything, but I want to go finishing this part so it will look very neat. And I want to continue to this girl. I want to see how she's gonna look, her face. Like it's really, you know what it reminds me actually? I feel like I'm looking at the Christmas cards. That what it, isn't it? Remember sometimes you get a Christmas, well, it used to be before, you get a Christmas cards from your friends, family members, and this is what it screams to me. So I'm gonna show you a little bit closer. You see? You know what else? I was really hesitating because I'm not a smoker. I don't have anybody in my house that smokes. This part, I was like, do I really want to stitch that? Or maybe I should just, you know, make his face round. And I debated, and I said, no. If Cindy decide that this is how she sees that design, I want to keep it everything. So yes, I'm very pleased with that, and I cannot wait to see the finish. So please do not be surprised that I'm gonna show you another dimension gold collection. Yes, I feel like I can call myself officially a demo lover, or it's demo mania. That's what got me obsessed with dimensions, but they truly are extraordinarily in the winter designs. So these are called Holiday Village, as you see, and it truly feels like I'm stepping into the Christmas card. When the first time I saw it, I knew that it was just something special. These glowing windows, the snowy streets, the cozy cottages, and the sky painted in shades of winter sunset. It's a perfect picture of holiday, warmth, and cheer. So far, I worked on this design for 8 days, and I've already completed part of the Christmas tree. So let me show you. Ta-da! Look at that. Yes, I saw this design stitch before, and what I heard that this part, the Christmas tree, the bridge, right, consider one of the hardest. And I agree with that, yes, because if this part is kind of easy, right, you just do the stitching, you don't really change the thread, but oh my god, wait till you get to the Christmas tree. There is just non-stop changing of threads, and it keeps going and going non-stop. I felt like it. So I had to get myself a little bit busy with this brick house, and I stopped because I felt like it was getting to the springtime, and I didn't want to stitch anything that was a winter. That's another thing I want to mention, that I am more like a seasonal cross stitcher. So when it's a winter, I prefer to stitch something that reminds me about winter and snow and holidays, Christmas. And when it comes spring, so I kind of stop. I don't want to do anything with the winter because it's not my favorite season. So, and I like to take something to stitch with birds, flowers, fairies, something with the color of warm and rich, like a yellow, I would say, light green. So this design, I still feel like, 8 days was enough for me to experience and decide if I like it or not. And I'd say that I absolutely love most about this project, it's an atmosphere, because I stitch and I can almost hear the crunch of the snow under the boots, the laughing of the families walking around, the sound of carols in the air, golden lights in the window, making the whole scene feels alive, and as if village is ready to welcome you and enjoy the holiday season. So Dimension Kit always have this way of capturing posts. They like to capture details and emotions, and yes, it's definitely will be on my wall one day. I don't know when. Will I work on this project this year? Yes, I'm planning to. I want to take it again in November, December, like end of November-ish, after the Thanksgiving. But most of it I will put work in the months of December, January, and February, and see how far it gonna go. I'm planning to go over here, right? So I want to continue building a bridge, and definitely I want to continue building a sky, because sky and in dimension design there are something. They know how to design, combine all these bright colors and have this absolutely breathtaking sunset or sunrise. So I'm excited for this project, and hopefully it will be stitched more this coming winter. So also I'm going to show you threads. This is how I organize it. In braids, it's very tight one, but at least they're not. It's very easy to work with, and the colors are just gorgeous. Wow. Yes, love, love, love. So another project by Dimension, but this time it's not a gold collection, it's just a regular count cross stitch. It's this beautiful design called I Love Teddy by Nita Showers. And it's supposed to be stitched on a 16 count Dove Gray Ida. That's probably one of my favorite color in dimensions for fabric they use. It has threads, easy instructions you see, and needles. And it's pretty big. It's when it's finished, it's 46 by 38. So what I can say about this design, I saw it stitched a couple times by YouTubers, teachers, and it's something out of this world. It's so beautiful, it's so delicate that I decided I have to have it. But being new to cross stitch, I very quickly realized that it's not that easy to find a design that was done long time ago and buy a kit and start stitch right away. So I was looking and looking, and to my surprise, I don't know how that happened. I think it's a miracle, because if I tell you how much I paid for this kit, and it's original, so it has original threads. I'll show you pattern. I like pattern when they only use red, blue, and black colors. It kind of makes sense for me to stitch. So, wow. I mean, this design flew to me, and I bought it in 5 minutes. And eventually, months is coming, I'm stitching, and I look at the price right now on the eBay, and it's like over hundreds of dollars. And sometimes it's even impossible to find this design. And I got it for $33. Yes, I know it's a stealer, and I'm not gonna complain, so I'm gonna continue stitch that design. I'm gonna show you the threads. Yes, that was my first experience actually organizing the threads, because I've never done that before. I was so afraid that I'm gonna mess it up somehow, somewhere. I'm gonna put light blue with not supposed to be light blue, but no, I did everything correctly. So, and this is how my work look right now. Look at that. What do you think? Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? From the very beginning, when this kit just felt so special to me. I've always loved stitching teddy bears. There's something just so cozy and nostalgic about them. They remind me of my childhood, the warm, simple joy, and this design capture all of that perfectly. Look at this teddy bear in a cute blue outfit and surrounded by little details like buttons and flowers and a picture of a teddy, right? And it feels almost like I'm stepping into the little storybook. So how long did it take me to stitch this part? 25 days. And I already love how much personality the teddy has. Stitching the fur with all its soft shades. Brown brings him to life, while the blue outfits adds a lovely contrast. Every flower detail, it's just delightful. So I tell you that Dimension really knows how to combine colors in a way that makes design pop up and glow. What really meaningful about this design as well, I'm planning to decorate it when I finish, right? Let me show you again the design, right? As you see, this whole part is already stitched. So I have a little bit, I have to go to the right, continue, and would you say 75-80% of work is done? So yeah, I have to stitch the card with a teddy bear, the small one, and the jewels, and the border with the flowers, but that's pretty much it. And the design will be done, and I'm planning to put this in my daughter's room. I think she will really enjoy it, waking up and look at something that her mom created for her. So and hopefully it will build her child memories, you know. So I love Teddy. It's one of my favorite design right now, and I'm planning to work on it this year as well, continue next year, and hopefully I will finish next year. I keep saying about this, about all my designs, but I really do want to finish them all and frame them, put it on a display so me and my family can enjoy it. Well, yes, again, look at that. So if you're thinking about to stitch this design, I highly recommend it. It's not hard at all. That's another part. Usually I always messing up, and this time, surprisingly or not, I only did a mistake here somewhere, which is I stopped and I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna spend my time trying to figure out where I missed it. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this part, and when I'm gonna go up, I'll figure out the mistake. But I don't think it's a big deal, or I have to cut the floss and restitch it, maybe a couple, but not a big space. But so here again, dimensions, they know how to do design, I'm telling you. And I don't mind to stitch it. I like the other design, and I stitch them already, so maybe next time I create the video all about the projects, designs that I stitched, and you will see that besides dimension I have so many others. But right now I'm working currently on most of the dimensions, and I love it. So this is my last WIP for today, and look at this beautiful design. This is called Honey Scent by Magic Needle, and the name itself is just so poetic and instantly makes you think of late summer, golden fields, and the sweetness of honey in the air. When I first opened this kit, I was just captivated by the design, the basket that overflowed with the bright yellow tansy, cheerful daisies, little red berries, all placed on a rustic table near a window, and behind flowers you can see sunlit curtains and countryside bathed in a warm golden light. So this kind of scene definitely puts you in a cozy and timeless feel, and looks like you step into the painting of summer memory. So this kit comes with a 36 colors of threads, and it's a gummer floss stitch on a 14-count Aida. And at first I felt like it's a big challenge, because I didn't know if I wanna stitch on Aida or on I-even, but then I realized that most of the part will be stitched. So let me just stick with something that it's already there. And sometimes I like to switch and stitch on an Aida or I-even, because it gives you a different perspective as well. So let me show you where is my work by now. Isn't it so beautiful? Wow. I definitely love stitching flowers. I love stitching with these bright colors. I get a little bit bored, to be honest with you, when I stitch with the brown and gray color. But sometimes you have to do that, right? To show you that whole picture coming alive. And so far I finished most of the upper half. You can already see the curtains, the window, and the large part of the bouquet right over there. See? And every time I look at it, it feels like It's summer. It's blooming right in front of me, but there is still a lot to do, I agree, because I still have much work to do and low half. And this is where the tablecloths and basket will come to life. I'm excited about the tablecloths, to be honest with you. I don't know about the window, but I'm sure it will be finish line, and I will try my absolutely best to just hurry up and finish it. This WIP has been such a joy to work, and it's not just a pattern, but it's also like storytelling threads, because each stitch adds to the scene, and I can already imagine the satisfaction I will have when the last piece of flower or berries will be stitched. Honey sand, it reminds me about my childhood. I feel like I went to my grandma in a village where she had this beautiful house with her beautiful windows looking at the nature, and I dedicate this piece of work to her. She definitely was a big part of my childhood, and yes, I'm loving it. So I didn't tell you how many days I stitched, right? Did I say that or not? Let me see. Well, let me show you the pattern first, so you will know if you ever decide to stitch magic needle. See, it's definitely not the same as dimensions, but it's pretty colorful and ready to stitch very easily. You just take and stitch. So yes, I stitched this piece. It took me 25 days. What was the easiest part to stitch? Probably sky. For some reason I thought that would be half stitch, but it wasn't a half stitch, so it was a cross stitch. But still, look how much is details done on this part and the other. It's like you in a real picture. What else? The flowers. Yes, as soon as I got to the yellow and oranges, wow, that was such a pleasure for me to stitch daisies. I didn't mention that before, but magic needle uses as minimum backstitch as you possibly can imagine. I mean, if dimensions is lots of backstitching, this one it's only couple, and I did it in daisies, as you see, just a little bit, and I believe it's gonna be a little bit here, so I have to work, and nothing in the berries. So that's it. So if you, like, I know some people, they complain that they don't like lots of backstitching. I don't mind backstitch, because I know that it's kind of, it's like you're a painter. You put in a lot of details at your work, and it like pops the colors and makes your artwork more alive. So I like working on the backstitch, but I know some people don't, so this is perfect opportunity for you if you would like to just try it out and see for yourself. I will highly recommend it. So yes, let's talk about the threads. Let me show you. Again, they perfectly organized for you in numbers. I just usually pull it and look at these greens. Wow. Yes, did I mention that green is my favorite color? I can stitch green hours and hours, and I'm not gonna complain that I'm tired. And after that, look at this brightness and reds, maroon color, oranges, yellow. And again, I like how much floss they put inside. They're not greedy. So usually after a magic needle, I have lots of leftovers, and I keep it for the future project or something that maybe the kids like a pattern that I have to come up with the threads, I can just pull up and get it from the Magic Needle kit. Yes, so let me show you a little bit closer. Wow. Isn't it beautiful? This is so gorgeous. These berries, you just wanna try it out. And the flowers. Amazing design. Again, there's nothing but beyond excitement for me every time I open it. Will I continue this year? Again, I was planning to finish up this summer, but it didn't go by plan. But it's okay, it happens, and I will continue this design in the spring 2027. So wish me luck, and hopefully if you stick and subscribe, you will see the results. So this is it. So I don't know how many WIPs I have right now, maybe 8, 9, 10. You count, because I didn't count. They're all mine, and they're all that I'm gonna be working so hard making them finish. And I just want to say thank you so much for spending time with me. This is my first video again. I've done videos before, but nothing about the Flosstube or cross stitching. So I hope you enjoyed it while I was chatting with you, showing you my project, you work on your projects. So I want to wish you only love, peace, happiness, that no matter how crazy and busy your life gets, you will always find a little bit of spare of time on something that you love to do. It's your hobby, either you cross stitcher or crochet or painter. But I feel like our hobbies are really important because it helps us to realize ourselves, relax, feel confident, feel proud of our work that we accomplish. So thank you so much again. Please subscribe, please like my video, and we'll see you next time, hopefully, where I'm gonna show you my other stack.